Y'all seen the title of the video and y'all know who I am. So let's just get right into the video. I think depth is going to be very important for this team this year because, I mean, yeah, we got our stars, man, but like when they sitting down, like how are we sitting down? And I think that was another one of our impediments, you know, to where if you look at, let's just like get it right here. Like Antoine Woods, right? Antoine Woods got hurt last year. Christian Covington had to start, and we had to move Tristan Hill from 3-tech to play 1-tech. That's bad business. We don't want that to happen. So I think we've gotten so much better at 1-tech. The dude that was starting last year is your backup guy this year, Antoine Woods, right? And to be fair, I like Antoine Woods a lot more at 24 snaps a game than 50 or so snaps per game. You see what I mean? So if Antoine Woods is a guy that we consider a serviceable starter, he's cool. But just in case there's some fatigue, just in case there's some injury. Plus, let's just not get this mistaken. Like Dontari Poe is the superior player, So to be fair, we kind of got two guys that we would consider starters. One's a better starter than the other. One is more serviceable than superstar level. I ain't saying Dontari superstar, but you just got to feel good about your 1-tech depth now. And why is Antoine so important? Well, because when Dontari Poe, big 330 ass, come off the field and he need to take a break, you're not losing too much production by putting Antoine Woods in there and letting him get a little busy at 1-tech. You know what I mean? So I think he's one of the more important pieces to when we talk about depth guys, not just like the best depth guys, because like our best depth guy may be Andy Dalton, right? Like a first level depth guy, like a first team depth guy. Like Dalton may be the best backup guy that we have, but I'm talking about guys that are just more so important. And I think that if we lose, if anything happens to Dontari, we need to have a backup plan immediately for that. So that's why Antoine Woods is so important. Let's watch this play, and then we're gonna move on to the next guy. Let's see. Antoine's in an A gap right there. Penetration, smoked him. Moving on. And I call this the number 2 spot, whoever the hell is playing swing tackle, right? Now, you see in this game, we had Cam Fleming on one side and we had Brandon Knight on the other. So Cam Fleming doesn't exist anymore. We got another guy that we're going to talk about in like 20 seconds. But who's going to be the swing tackle dude, right? Of course, if Connor Williams, I think in a pinch, Connor Williams can probably bump away from left guard and go play tackle if it gets bad for you. In real life, I want Connor to be the future of left tackle on this team, in my personal opinion. But what happens when Tyron Smith misses, when he misses his annual 1 to 2 games a year? You know what I mean? He may just wake up one day and go ouch and be like, nah, man, I can't do it. So is Brandon Knight going to be that guy? Mitch Hyatt is an undrafted free agent that we got from Clemson last year. And he was, I think he was a player that possibly, look at Coop. I think he was a player that possibly could have been drafted, right? We're talking about Mitch Hyatt here, our guy from Clemson. Just a guy that possibly could have been drafted. Could he develop his way into a swing tackle role? We got about 4 guys that could possibly be swing tackle, right? And 3 of them I feel really, really good about. The rest of them just kind of like some undrafted guys, some camp bodies that we just going to have to see. But I think Brandon Knight has a foot in the door because he has game experience right now, right? Brandon Knight, 69, he's your right tackle right now. He has time in right now. So if anything happens to Lael or Tyron, like in this game, I definitely think that Brandon. Now, the interesting thing about Brandon Knight is that, he was on that Garrett administration. And if you're an elite Garrett administration guy, you should be good to go. But what if you're just a regular ass Garrett administration guy like Brandon Knight? You probably got to fight for your rights. But Brandon does have actual game film. That's one thing that Mitch Hyatt does not, So I feel pretty good about Brandon Knight possibly being a guy that's that can come in and play. Plus he's had the offseason where he's bigger and stronger. What it is about the Cowboys and these dudes named Cam that played backup tackle in the Super Bowl. But yeah, then there's Cam Erving, not to be mistaken with Cam Fleming, who played tackle in the Super Bowl for the Patriots, but this is Cam Erving, who played tackle in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, which is different, right? Now the interesting thing about Cam Erving is that I think he got a solidified spot on this team, right? Not because of what he can do at swing tackle, but like when he was drafted, he started like he was everything in college. Got to the league, played center, then got moved to guard, then got moved to right tackle, back to center, to swing tackle to guard, and then he ends up playing tackle for Kansas City. Now, is he the most talented guy? Nah, but I think you can find ways, you can find ways around non-talented or just non-super talented, offensive lineman or whatever. You can get the ball, you could just get the ball out your hands quicker. You can, hand the ball off. You can run screens. It's a lot of ways you can hide guys. So if you need Cam Erving, not to be confused with Fleming, if you need Cam Erving for a few plays, then I think he'll be good to go for a few plays, or like a few games even, like 2 or 3 games. I think you'll be safe with Cam Erving for 2 or 3 games. So I think the big competition with swing tackle is going to be him and Brandon Knight that we just talked about. Mitch Hyatt, we're going to have to see about your player. We're going to have to see because he ain't really got game experience. And, then there's like Terrence Steele, the undrafted free agent kid that I don't think is going to make the team anyway. But this is super important because if anything happens to Lael, you want to be covered. Also, we know 9 times out of 10 something's going to happen with Tyron Smith. You see what I mean? So, whoever the hell ends up being swing tackle guy, super important. So whether you consider yourself part of the 20% or you may consider yourself an I Am Legend monster, or because if you're an I Am Legend monster, you don't know that you're an I Am Legend monster. But if somebody calls you one, right, it doesn't matter what faction Cowboy fan you fall upon, right? I think there's a general consensus that we all feel good about Tony Pollard being a backup, not even just like backup, like look, receiver, you know what I mean? But as a depth receiver guy, also like a depth running back guy, right? If anything were to happen to Ezekiel Elliott, I think we all feel good about the running game continuing to be, good to go. Or if it's like a real stupid type pinch to where we gotta, have somebody at receiver, then we got cousin Tony that can come in and play a little bit of receiver too, and Tony's very important because, I think this thing is going to run through Dak. Don't get me wrong. Zeke lead blocking. Go ahead on. And he didn't even touch him. Never mind. I think this team is going to run through Dak. Okay. This is going to be a pass-based offense. Dak Prescott's going to be the man. But if there's no threat for the run, then this thing, let's see what happened with Tony. Let's see what happened with Tony. Let's just see. All right, cool. If there is not a threat of run, then it just makes it harder for the pass. But what makes the pass so dangerous is that, hey, man, Zeke's in the backfield. What you going to do about the player? You see what I mean? So the fact that if Zeke comes off the field, if the defense decide, hey, Zeke's not playing anymore, let's not play the run as hard, that's still going to be detrimental to that defense because Tony Pollard is still a gangster. Like cousin Tony still get down, I think having that that backup running back still able to go, I think that's going to be a good sign for us. And I know a lot of people want to put Tony and Zeke out there at the same time, man. As long as the formation fits, it's cool, man. Like I don't want to take like Gallup off the field or like somebody like that. Like I don't want to take off too much off the field just to put a whole bunch of stuff on the field. As long as it makes sense structurally, you know what I'm saying, then we can run it for the cardio. Can we also talk about cousin Tony, like returning kicks and all that good stuff? Like, can we get some of that? Can we get some of that? Please, if you don't mind. Look at my cousin Tony. Look at my cousin Tony. Look at my stop playing. Let me tell you why I think as a 4th receiver, Devin Smith is super important, right? We always hear from Jerry Wayne Jones, bro. We always hear, if you have a strength, keep your strength a strength. You know what I mean? And we know that in this game, it's unfortunate that sometimes injuries can happen. Okay. So part of what makes us feel really good about this offense is that we got 3 gangsters at receiver. You know what I mean? We got CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. All right. If anything happens to one of those guys, I know a lot of people feel really good about Cedric Wilson, and shouts out to people feeling really good about Cedric Wilson. I would feel a little better if Devin Smith came on the field than Cedric Wilson. You see what I mean? Not that there's anything that much like tier wise that makes Devin Smith better than Cedric Wilson. If Devin's on the field, at least I know, hey, that there's some type of threat of speed and we can use that to our advantage as an outside guy. Right. To where if Cedric Wilson goes out there, we don't really have a good idea what Cedric Wilson's good at. Like we know in Boise State, he was a polished route runner, showed a little bit of nuance in that. But in terms of like showing out, like have we seen Cedric Wilson show out? We've seen Devin Smith show out when he's on the field. You know, he hadn't done much, but in terms of like those few preseason games, this game, the next game I'm gonna show you, like Devin Smith, we've seen him produce when he's in situations where we need him to produce. We just haven't seen that from Cedric. So let's say, you know, and it also works out in every combination, right? Colombo, tight boy. So if something happens to Michael Gallup, you know, you could just fit Cedric, not Cedric, you could just fit Devin right in flanker and move on with your life. If something happens with, you know, CeeDee Lamb, you can put Amari Cooper in the slot, put Devin on the outside. He can run past people just like that, you know. To where if anything was to happen to Cooper, you could do, you know, you could just put him out there. Or I think Devin Smith can also play in the slot, right? Like I would rather have Devin Smith outside where like we could use his speed, but I don't doubt Devin Smith as a nickel guy. You know, I don't doubt it, you know, but I just want to keep a strength to strength. And if anything, I just want to keep, you know, I just want to keep danger out there. And if Devin's out there, I know that there's some danger in his speed, you know. But then again, some could happen in the preseason and we see Cedric Wilson ate his Wheaties and next thing you know, he's showing out. But that's just going to have to be something that we're going to have to see when we see it, you know. And last but not least, man, we got Anthony Brown, bro. And to be fair, let's just be fair. I know it's a lot of people that ain't fooling with Anthony Brown. I know it's a lot of people that may or may not be happy about Anthony Brown, or, you know, nothing would make you happier than for the rookie Trevon Diggs to come in and take Anthony Brown's spot. I possibly think that's going to happen, which is why I got Anthony Brown listed as a depth player. But if we know anything about Anthony Brown, he could play a little bit of slot. He can go out and he could play on the outside as well. He may not be the best there, but if something bad were to happen, you just feel a little bit safer knowing that, hey, that dude has starts on this team, that dude has played before, and we ain't just got to go to somebody that we have zero faith in, right? Baseline, Anthony Brown is a starter that we don't like, right? But that don't make him a terrible player. We just trying to get better at that spot, you know? So if you look at a situation like, you know, if something was to happen to Cheeto, right, and Diggs got to move from wherever he's at to the outside guy, then you need somebody to come in and play nickel that you feel good about. You're not going to ask those other 6'1" guys to come in and play nickel for you. Or, you know, you'll move, you know, Jordan Lewis to nickel possibly, and, you know, you'll just like switch stuff around. But, you know, out of all the guys we got, I just feel better about Brown than you know, Chris Westry. I feel better about Brown than, you know, some of the free agent guys that we picked up, you know what I'm saying? So if it's up to me, like it's Cheeto, Jordan, then, you know, rookie Diggs, you know what I mean? Trevon Diggs. And then if anything were to happen to those guys, or if we just got to play dime, right? If we just got to play dime one time, I feel pretty good about Anthony Brown, putting him out there and just letting him run around for a little bit for a handful of plays if we're in a pinch. You know what I'm saying? But depth is important, y'all. Depth is important because if anything happens to our big dogs, you don't want to lose steps too bad. The AB gets smoked right here. What just happened? Don't tell him I just gave him all these props for him to go and get smoked like this. What happened on this play? What's going on? Before we leave, please tell me what's going on before we leave. Let's just see what happened to him. Let's just see what happened to him. Oh, just a... Yeah, we're going to get up out of here before I look crazy. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all like the video. Shouts out to all my Patreon people, PayPal people, my Cash App people. Shouts out to all y'all supporting. Shouts out to people that just leaving likes on the video, man. You know, hit the notification bell so you know when we drop random ass film sessions and live streams in the middle of the week just like this. And y'all hold it down for the Doski Woski and the Peasky Wheesky, man. Salute.